Gray Matters with Doc W. I'm your host, a PhD psychologist, teacher, and mentor with over 30 years of experience. As the holidays bring us together, we're bound to encounter challenging, politically sensitive conversations. That's where our show comes in, where red and blue mix to create a thoughtful gray area. Our AI-generated discussions offer a calm, respectful approach to tough topics, allowing both progressive and conservative viewpoints to be presented fairly. Today, we'll be exploring the complex issue of immigration and border security. So let's dive in and listen to what our AI participants have to say on this hot-button topic. Our goal here at Gray Matters is to foster understanding and open dialogue with the ones we love.
Jack, it's wonderful to see you after all this time. I've really missed these family gatherings.
Same here, Maria. It's been way too long. I'm just glad we finally have some time to talk. How's everything going at work?
Busy as ever. Teaching high school means staying on top of everything my students care about, and immigration has been a hot-button issue lately. How about you? Still running your consulting business?
Yeah, business is steady. Immigration actually affects us too. Hiring has been a challenge lately. It's such a complex issue, isn't it? How do you approach discussing it with your students?
I focus on highlighting the human aspect. Many immigrants arrive here escaping violence or extreme poverty. A significant number of them actually contribute more to our society than they receive in benefits. For instance, undocumented immigrants pay billions of dollars in federal and state taxes each year. However, we don't make the legal immigration process simple or accessible. And that's a major factor contributing to the current situation.
I understand your perspective, but we must consider the broader implications. Yes, there are costs to taxpayers and strains on local resources, particularly in border states. It's true that hospitals and schools in places like Texas and Arizona are feeling the pressure. And you're right to bring up border security. The issues of fentanyl trafficking and human smuggling are indeed serious concerns. We have an urgent need to secure the border now, before we develop longer-term solutions.
I understand safety is a top concern. However, it's important to note that most dangerous drugs, including fentanyl, actually enter through official ports of entry, not between them. If we really want to make an impact, we should focus on enhancing technology at these checkpoints. That could significantly improve our detection capabilities. Now, regarding the strain on services, yes, it's a challenge, but it's not insurmountable. These are systemic issues that we can address through increased funding and more efficient policies. We don't need to compromise our values. We need to improve our systems.
I acknowledge that ports of entry require technological upgrades, but we must also address the issue of illegal border crossings. This isn't solely about preventing drug trafficking. It's about upholding the rule of law. When individuals enter the country without following proper procedures, it undermines the entire immigration system. Consider the recent surge in border crossings. It's unsustainable. We need a comprehensive approach that addresses both legal and illegal entry points to ensure the integrity of our borders and immigration policies.
It's undeniable that our system is stretched beyond its limits. However, we must look deeper and consider why people are making this journey in the first place. Many are escaping violence in Central America, fleeing the effects of climate disasters, or running from corrupt regimes. If we were to build stronger partnerships with these countries, we could potentially reduce the pressure of migration. Don't you believe that addressing the root causes is just as crucial as strengthening our border security?
It's important, no doubt about it, but partnerships don't happen overnight. We need to consider our immediate options. Border Patrol is already overwhelmed, and cities like El Paso are facing a crisis trying to accommodate the influx of migrants. They're struggling to provide basic necessities like shelter and food. This situation isn't fair to the local communities, and it's certainly not fair to the migrants either. We need to find a solution that addresses these urgent issues while we work on long-term partnerships.
That's why we need more efficient immigration courts. Currently, people are waiting years for their cases to be heard. If we had more judges and faster processing, we could distinguish between legitimate asylum seekers and those trying to exploit the system. This approach would be both more humane and more efficient.
I support faster processing of immigration cases, but we also need stricter enforcement measures. For instance, making E-Verify mandatory for all employers would help reduce the incentive for people to enter the country illegally. Additionally, if we could streamline legal pathways such as temporary work visas, individuals might not feel compelled to cross the border illegally in the first place.
I believe temporary work visas are a valuable solution. They allow people to enter the country legally for employment, which benefits both the workers and our economy. However, we must also address the situation of the dreamers. These are young people who were brought to this country as children and have grown up as Americans. It's crucial that we find a way to protect them from deportation and provide them with a path to stay in the only home they've ever known. We need a balanced approach that addresses both temporary workers and long-term residents who are already part of our communities.
I'm not opposed to safeguarding dreamers, but it needs to be part of a broader agreement. Perhaps we could consider something along the lines of enhanced border security funding in exchange for permanent protections for dreamers. What's your take on that?
I believe that's a solid foundation to build upon. We need to see more compromises of this nature, ones that strike a balance between compassion and security. It's crucial that we find ways to address both concerns simultaneously rather than treating them as mutually exclusive. By working together and considering multiple perspectives, we can develop solutions that are both humane and pragmatic.
So how do we strike that balance? What's your vision for meaningful reform?
We need to start by increasing funding for our immigration courts. This will help speed up the processing of asylum cases. Next, we should invest in advanced technology at our ports of entry. This technology will be crucial in catching drugs and preventing human trafficking. We also need to create more legal pathways for work visas. This will help manage the flow of immigrants seeking employment opportunities. Finally, we must establish partnerships with Central American countries. By working together, we can address the root causes of migration. These steps, taken together, will create a more effective and humane immigration system.
I believe we should enhance our border security measures. We could implement more drones, sensors, and physical barriers in areas with high illegal crossing activity. Additionally, it's crucial to introduce mandatory E-Verify to ensure businesses are held accountable for their hiring practices. We should also consider implementing stricter penalties for those who overstay their visas. These steps would help address multiple aspects of our immigration challenges.
I agree and understand the need for E-Verify and penalties as long as they're implemented fairly. At the same time, we need to guarantee that immigrants are treated with dignity. This includes providing access to legal representation and ensuring basic humanitarian aid is available while they await the processing of their cases.
Fair enough. We shouldn't overlook the economic perspective either. Immigrants play vital roles in various sectors like agriculture, construction, and healthcare. It's important that we create a system that allows them to work legally while also ensuring they contribute to the tax base like all other workers. This approach could benefit both the immigrants and our economy as a whole.
Exactly. It's not about us versus them. It's about building a system that works for everyone.
You know, Maria, I didn't expect us to agree on so much. Maybe there's hope for this country after all if we can have conversations like this. It's refreshing to find common ground, especially in these divisive times. I think we've shown that people with different backgrounds and beliefs can still find areas of agreement. Who knows? If more folks took the time to really listen to each other, we might just be able to bridge some of these gaps that seem so wide. It gives me a bit of optimism for the future, I have to say.
I feel that way too. We probably won't figure everything out tonight, but just talking and really listening to each other is a great first step.
Here's to that. And to many more Thanksgiving dinners just like this one.
Thanks for tuning in to Gray Matters with Doc W. Our AI-generated characters and dialogue today aim to shed light on complex political issues by presenting both sides fairly without the heat that often accompanies family debates. As we navigate the gray between red and blue, let's continue to seek respectful, understanding communication in our relationships. Let us know what you'd like to explore next time on Gray Matters in the comments. Be sure to catch our next episode where we'll tackle more challenging topics, hopefully equipping you for meaningful and respectful conversations with the ones we love. This is Doc W signing off, where red meets blue using our gray matter matters most. Keep talking, keep listening, keep building. We'll be back again soon with another episode of Gray Matters.